Hey, Mary, back with another video. It's 7:39 p.m. It is October 5th, and it is Wednesday evening. Happy Wednesday, smack dab in the middle of the week. And I just wanted to come on here, and I was just thinking about how the years go by. So I just wanted to kind of reminisce, and perhaps maybe this is not such a bad idea because I'm not talking about gang stalking, but I bet by the end of this video, somehow or another, I'm going to bring that subject right back around. We'll see how this turns out. But anyway, I was sitting here flipping through my emails, right? And you know how you have these like little pages where, like, if it's like Yahoo or Outlook or whatever, you get these news reels, right, that come through. And so, I found out that Loretta Lynn died. So this video is, I'm talking about a white woman, right? Now, I can't say that I am, and I'm a huge lover of music. I mean, I have grown up with music all my life, different kinds of music. And I remember when I was younger seeing this woman and thinking how beautiful she was. Like, she was so, this is back in the 70s when I was a kid, right? And I remember watching that movie, The Coal Miner's Daughter or whatever, which I thought was pretty good, right? I think the reason why I'm thinking about her is because I realize how old I'm getting. Like, I realize, all the people that I grew up with on TV, seeing them in magazines as I was, going through the checkout counters when I was a kid or whatever. All these people, the celebrity faces that I'm familiar with, are like dying, and it's kind of weird. Now back to the Loretta Lynn thing. I can't really say that all the music that I've collected throughout my life, I have never owned a Loretta Lynn CD. Or any of her work. I have not. But I will say that she had some really good songs. And I remember when I would hear her voice, how much I really liked it. I thought she was a very talented person. And when I think about her life, it's like, this is a woman who wrote about her experiences. And this is the part of artistic expression that I appreciate from her. She wrote about things that she was living through, which is like really admirable, because not all artists create their own music, their own lyrics and everything. So she was an incredibly talented person, and it was like this undiscovered talent that she had, that she discovered when she got married to her husband, Mooney or whatever his name was. So, I don't know that much about her other than what I've read. I do remember reading about her when I was in third grade, because we had this, like, the public library that was associated with the school system, right? So every week we'd go to the library and you could pick out a book. Now, when I was little, I used to always grab at least one Peanuts Charlie Brown book, just because I loved how it would sink me in. It would make me be so imaginative and wonder what it was like to be around these little kids and this little dog and have constant chatter and go to each other's houses and have fun and stuff. But anyway, I digress. Going back to the Loretta Lynn. Yeah, there was this book on Loretta Lynn in third grade, and I remember checking it out and reading about her. And I admired her. I have always admired her. I have always had a lot of respect for her. But going back to watching her the first time I ever saw her, I remember the first time I ever saw her, and they showed a clip of her the first time. The very same clip that I saw of her when I was a kid. She's wearing this green dress, a typical 70s style dress, and she's got this, hairpiece on, and it's an additional part because she's performing on stage. And I just remember just flipping out because I thought she looked so beautiful in this green dress, and she was all done up and everything, and she was singing, and I thought she was amazing. And I'm just going through these years, and I'm thinking, my gosh, I can't believe how old I am, to be able to remember that. But anyway, rest in peace. I don't, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Loretta Lynn. Like, I can't say that, I was somebody who collected her music or anything like that. And I wouldn't be ashamed to say it if I was. I'm a Black woman who listened to all kinds of music, and I have some country CDs. And I know CDs are like so old school, but anyway, I do. And but I just, maybe I might get something from her or listen to some of her music this week now that she's on my mind. But anyway, so I wanted to come on here and talk about, how I've been like doing a lot of reflecting in my life, and, certain things that happen kind of add to it, and, makes me think about, how my life was and how it went, And so when I see, all these people that I remember, growing up and seeing, and people who in a lot of ways did inspire me to like those things. Just like, I had mentioned in one of my videos about when I was younger, I used to watch That Girl, or episodes of it, okay? Because that show is in syndication when I was younger. I mean, when I was able to see it, because that show came out like in the 60s or whatever. But I've always loved it, and it encouraged my love of clothes, a lot of those kind of styles of clothes. And also, it also encouraged my interest in makeup because, obviously in my surroundings, not too many people were into those sort of things. And this was something that I developed. And so some people will say, you're too old for this, you're too old for that. People, I don't believe in people trying to set standards on people's lives, or tell them that, that their age has some sort of significance on how they're supposed to have their worldview. I think that a person should be responsible, a person should be respectable, and they should be kind to their neighbor. They should be considerate towards their neighbor. But as far as the whole, like I see like on these the same like front page that you see when you get online, you start logging in, you start seeing the newsreels. I see a lot of articles about 50-year-old women. These are the haircuts that they're supposed to be wearing. This is the clothes that they're supposed to be wearing. And I understand. I see some women who wear like clothes that some, how they talk about being age appropriate. Some women my age do wear this like teenage looking type thing. And, I think a lot of people wouldn't do those things themselves, but I think that people have the right to do them. And I think that because they're following their heart's desire. And that's a very difficult thing to do when you are dealing with a peer group, because your peers don't understand what you need to feel content, to what you need to feel. Because I will tell you, my need to feel content is far more important than associating with fake people. You know what I mean? I have to care about myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that there's an important part in like professionalism. I think I do respect that. I look at professionalism as an art. And it is kind of a form of acting in a way. Okay? It is. It's like you switch your demeanor. You got to tone down a little bit. You can't be, cracking jokes and everything. And to me, there's a lot of things that you can master if you become this, if you get within this mindset. Okay? So to me, some people say it's that's silly to see it as an art. But in a little way, it is, okay, because of the little bit of acting that goes on with it. Now, anyway, enough of that. So in some ways, I am kind of taking this back to gang stalking only because, these things I do appreciate in life, and because I was persecuted for having my own personal taste and likes and stuff, and I think that, I think some people are not rooted in reality to where they are so imaginative, so creative, so in la la land that they don't have, they're not aware of the world around them. And I think some people were maybe kind of accused me of being, childish or whatever. I'm not. I'm fully understanding of the world around me, how it operates. I'm not naive in any way. I'm just somebody who has hobbies and interests and things like that. And it's a part of my life. It's who I am, you know. It is very much who I am. And I think that there's a lot of women my age who feel more pressured because their friends, their so-called friends, do not accept them as they are, you know, but they might have an interest, they want to do it themselves. Like I remember seeing this discussion going on. I think it was Facebook or something. And, you know, some people, they want to try new things because they feel like their life are in a rut. They're not content with the stagnant life that they're living. And a lot of times that's the result of that is severe depression, giving up on life early because they feel like there's nothing left to explore. And I think it's beneficial when people are bold enough and brave enough and desire those things to go after them. That means if you're 63 years old and for the last 10 years, you know, you've been retired and you just sit around and you lost interest in life, but suddenly, you know, somebody gives you a magazine with an older person on it, and it shows this older person expressing themselves, doing kooky things that they've never, that they themselves never thought of, but it gives them some sort of something to live for. You see what I'm saying? And I think sometimes people kind of check out a little bit too early, mainly because of the societal pressure. And I don't believe that we should allow that to happen when we're the ones who suffer for it. You see what I'm saying? I think people should seek out what it is that they need in life to survive and feel happy. And without those things, your life has no meaning. And your friend who wants to prevent you from pursuing those things, they're not your friends. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, so when I was thinking about, you know, what makes people's lives extend, what gives them the desire to continue living their life, is people have to have a sense of discovery. I live on that feeling. Like if I don't have a sense of discovery, then I can't deal with life. You know what I mean? I have to have something that intrigues me. My mind has to be sparked all the time. You know? And without that, I know when I was gang stalked, I hate to bring this, but like when they had me working like way out in like Buttonwillow, and isolating me from people and that sort of thing, I will tell you that is the worst form of abuse that you can ever experience. You know, as a matter of fact, I remember reading an article, it was about 3 years ago, how they were talking about isolation is one, like when people punish a person, like putting them in things like isolation and whatever, that is like one of the most cruelest thing you could ever do to a person. It would be far more humane if you just blew that person's fucking brains out. It really would be. Because you are really, it's a form of abuse that, you know, it's completely inappropriate. But anyway, see, I did. See? I told you I was going to talk about gang stalking and bring up all that bullshit that I had to go through because it's still a part of me. But, and I started off talking about Loretta Lynn. And it started off really positive with me going down memory lane. And then all of a sudden, and yes, you know, I do like to crack a joke every once in a while. I think it's funny when, you know, you deal with people who hate you so fucking much that they make it seem like it's a crime to laugh, you know what I mean? It's not, and it's not a sign of immaturity. It's a natural emotion that we were given to express our happiness. And I think there are a lot of people in life who resent other people's happiness, and so when they see you giggling and smiling and shit, they just fucking lose it, and they want to fucking like really hammer it into you how much they hate you. You know, but I don't know, you know. I am grateful for the little nerdy things that I do because it keeps me, it gives me the life that I am, I want to believe that, well, I don't want to, I do believe, but I believe that that life should be a continuous journey until we decide that we want to stop exploring those things. And it can't be forced. I think some people feel so pressured and they don't understand that this is what it is. It's like people need to think about what it is that they really find enjoyment in life. And luckily I'm not somebody who finds enjoyment in things that are like, dangerous. Like, what if I had the urge to like go not deep sea diving, but like jump out of planes, or if that was my, and some people do, they want to go like skydiving and all this other stuff. Some people want to do that before they die. You know what I mean? That's on somebody's bucket list, right? And I think if that's what they want to do, I myself wouldn't do it, and I certainly would not, but these certain things people need to do. They have to live out their lives, and as long as you're not breaking the law, as long as you're not hurting anybody, then I think that's really what it's all about. And I'm just very grateful that I got to live through a time where I can appreciate someone like Loretta Lynn and other people who've made great strides in music when music was really good. Okay, when music was really good, to the point of where I, as a black woman, can look back on my life and remember this white woman singing on TV and remember her, and then her leaving a lasting impression on somebody that's not like her. That's how good music was back then. It was like you can always find something good to hear and listen to, no matter what it was. It was pretty much all good. I appreciate those older days, and that doesn't mean that I live in the past, mind you. I'm just saying there were certain things that were better back then than they are now. And to me, music is something that lasts a lifetime, and then some. There's like old classical artists that have long been dead and gone that are still being listened to today because they're masterpiece, So when people create good music, and I think that her music is good, and hopefully that people, I don't know how long this world's going to last, but in the next generation or so, people will explore her music because she left a lasting impression. Now, there are some musical artists that, to me, are just fluff and filler, you know what I mean? And they're here today, and they're going to be gone tomorrow. They're like one-hit wonders, okay? They might be poppy, they might be, trendy for a time, but when it really comes back to the art of music, I mean, the lyrics are good, they're profound, they're striking, they're powerful. It's like poetic words being put to beautiful, beautifully composed instrumental pieces and blending them all together. Music used to be really impressive. I mean, there were certain instruments that I remember sounding very, very pronounced in the songs when I was younger, to where it was just so well put together. I saw great art in the creation back then. And I'm not saying that everyone's shitty now, but it just seems like there's so much more shit than there was, and back then it was like it was pretty much all good, and that was my opinion. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. I don't think I went too much with the gang stalking and went on and on about that, because I don't want to, that wasn't the purpose of this video, but somehow it just kind of ends up that way. I hope you all have a good night. Take care. Bye bye.